Okay, good morning, Adela.
Hi, good morning.
Here to talk about Aurachain.
Yeah.
And I suppose it makes sense to start at the beginning.
Okay.
So we'll go with some background first. What is Aurachain? Where did it come from? And what was your role in that?
All right, so Aurachain is a low-code development platform, which in essence it means it allows you to create digital applications without the need to code or with as little programming as possible. The company is an evolution of a business with a strong pedigree in the process automation space and the evolution of a team with more than 10 years of experience in the enterprise software space. I'm one of the founders, and as founder and CEO, I oversee the company strategy from product development to market expansion. But to me, Aurachain is way beyond a professional mission. It's more of a personal project.
Okay, cool. That sounds really impressive. And given the unprecedented challenges that everyone's faced over the last 12 to 15 months, what would you say the company has accomplished during that period, in 2020 in particular?
In 2020, in spite of the pandemic challenge, Aurachain got the opportunity to validate its market positioning. We got a lot of client traction. And above all, we were able to provide quick time to value to our clients in a way that combines speed of delivery with strong performance in production and a high level of governance. Probably the project which is the closest to my heart is a national system we have built in my native country, Romania, for a job retention scheme, which ultimately ended up by providing financial support in the COVID context for more than 1.5 million employees. And that's something that probably I'll always remember when combining 2020 with Aurachain.
Yeah, that sounds really impressive. Would you say that that's Aurachain's biggest achievement to date, or is there something that kind of tops that for you?
No, really the two biggest achievements to date are the product and the team. You need to understand, for us to get here from our inception, we had to go through a really painful and tough journey. So when you're looking at a company of our stage, you always see a lot of high quality ingredients, and of course there are a lot of challenges on the way. If you would ask me, when it comes to Aurachain, above of the high quality ingredients, what really got us here, I think it's generally the resilience of the founding team.
And so Aurachain is a low-code platform.
Yes.
For those who maybe aren't familiar with what that means, what is low-code and why is it all the rage right now?
Well, low-code is the perfect alternative to traditional software development in a sense that it moves the ability of creating digital applications from what used to be an exclusive territory of the software developers to business users, regardless if they are really operational people or business analysts. By doing so, low-code accelerates a lot time to value for various organizations in a way that it also helps them not just to achieve quick time to value, but also to adapt quickly to a constantly changing environment. And I think that's the real value of low-code.
So given that that's kind of the key value of low-code, what are the industries that you see low-code having the biggest impact on?
From our experience, the early adopters are really financial services organizations, especially banking more than insurance. What we noticed recently, especially in the last year or so, is that supply chain space, regardless if we're talking transportation, logistics, retail, or manufacturing, have also become very quick adopters of low-code. And last but not least, the governments, especially in the COVID context, both central and local governments. And that's easy to understand why, because the ones who were probably forced to adapt the quickest to what happened in 2020 were the governments.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose like a lot of the industries that are kind of historically relying on manual processes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So given that, how do you see the contribution of low-code and the Aurachain platform in particular in creating value and driving growth for organizations?
I see the contribution from two angles. From a core business perspective, low-code helps organizations to quickly reconfigure their client relationships, their vendor relationships, their partner ecosystem, create additional revenue streams, or constantly streamline their operations. From this perspective, it's invaluable. From a technical perspective, I think the biggest value resides in the fact that companies are today less dependent on the tech vendors. And therefore, they become very self-reliant in creating digital applications that sustain their growth.
And what is it that you would say makes Aurachain unique in the low-code space?
If you're familiar with the low-code space, there are three generations of low-code platforms. The first generation is made up of still very heavy techie platforms, which still involve a lot of coding. The second generation is made up of platforms which involve or let's just say they are more friendly with the business users, but they have some significant limitations when it comes to the complexity of the use cases you can build with them. The third generation, which is also the case of Aurachain, transfer the majority of the application development towards business users while maintaining those governance areas where IT needs to step in. From this perspective, I believe Aurachain is the perfect balance between simplicity in creating applications and the level of complexity of the final applications. And that's why we say we're the third generation.
Okay, and moving forward, how do you see low-code trending through 2021?
Well, according to all the analysts in the space, by the end of 2022, more than 80% of the global organizations are going to use various types of low-code platforms. In my view, the reason for that is the fact that, generally speaking, enterprise clients are a bit tired of using inflexible legacy systems which take a lot of time to be implemented. They are anything but cost effective, and ultimately they cannot be adapted to change. From Aurachain's perspective, and that's what really makes us unique in the space, not only that we fall in the industry trend, which is called hyperautomation, in a sense that we perfectly complement technologies like RPA, for instance, but we are really the only platform that sits at the intersection of low-code, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. And if you'd ask me, I think that in the next 2 years, from an innovation perspective, the majority of our focus is going to reside in this area, not just on complementing or adding new low-code features based on our clients' requests, but also constantly perfecting our blockchain features and adding AI capabilities.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Adela.
Thank you very much.